Thank you very much for joining me. How you been? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Steve Renazizi. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. Lit. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. What's the odds? What's the odds? What's the odds? What's
Welcome back to What's the Odds with Steve Renazizi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited. It's Wednesday, November 20th, 2019. I am joined in studio this week by my good buddy. Our guest this week has a brand new special on the All Things Comedy Network. I've known him for many, many years. I think this is your first special?
This is my first special.
This is your first stand-up special?
Dog
You popped your cherry?
Stepfather. Yes, sir.
This is Mark Ellis. His special is Dog Stepfather, and it's on YouTube, correct?
Yeah, you can get it on YouTube. Later it'll be on Amazon, all that good stuff, through our friends at All Things Comedy.
And you're a big Redskins fan? I mean, we've talked for years about
horrible way to introduce somebody.
No, not necessarily, because I'm a Giants fan, so I'm not much better than you.
Well, you're also a Knicks fan, right? The debate is now who's the worst sports franchise.
No, there is no debate. We have it. It's ours.
The Knicks versus the Redskins?
James Dolan. Are any Redskin players banned from their own stadium and have been choked out and physically assaulted to be removed for confronting the owner?
That is correct.
When you guys have your draft, right? As much as you probably wish the owner was not a part of it, are you upset that instead of being with the organization, he's playing a concert with his fucking band of the worst shit music you've ever heard in your entire life?
My only argument against any of this is the following, is that James Dolan seems to be a lot closer to death than Dan Snyder.
Not close enough. Not close enough for Knicks fans.
It's such a morbid place to go to when the only way for your franchise to improve and to get back to the glory years that we had experienced is the owner has to perish.
And then who gets it? Joe Gibbs. You got to give it to Joe Gibbs.
I don't know that Joe Gibbs is going to be
he owns
around
NASCAR
after Dan Snyder.
Well, just to cleanse the palate. You know how after the Pope before this guy died, he was an awful guy?
Yeah.
And they were like, we just got to get a good guy that everybody likes in there. No, the Nazi's dead.
The Nazi's gone? Okay.
Now they got Benedict. He's a good guy who's you guys, everyone's good.
We like him.
Yeah, he's a nice, trying to repair everything as best he can.
What about the actual Pope just taking over for the Washington Redskins?
It would be better than Dan Snyder.
He comes in, he's like, first of all, guys, God is good with the name. Okay,
look, here's the deal.
God said it's not racist.
I've got some controversy in my background, but really, do you think I can't clean things up? Come on. Here we go.
We're not trading players. We're just reassigning them.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, we get rid of the trash and we bring in, reassign trash and we bring in, good old healthy people to get out there and do the job.
We put Jay Gruden in a different church, too.
I saw a video of Alex Smith working out the other day on ESPN. Did you see that video?
Yeah.
It is inspiring to see, I guess.
The guy wants it bad, man.
I don't know. I'm not. It didn't look like everything's still in place or he's not wearing a brace. I don't know how long his recovery is supposed to be, but I mean,
he's in his mid-30s. Imagine if you or me broke our leg like that.
I'm coming off of a debilitating injury, as these guys know. I had L5 S1 disc surgery, 7.5 weeks ago. I mean, I look at it as my old spine crumbles away and my new midlife spine is now being reborn, and now shall make this spine takes me now from here to my senior PGA Tour spine.
I don't think that's how spines work, Steve.
Running marathons and triathlons into my 70s spine, and then into my 80s, my spine will say, I don't know if I can do this anymore, and then crumble away, and then I go.
Yeah, no, I don't think it works. I think you get the one spine.
Nope.
For life.
Mark, you ready for this? I was born at 0, okay? I was
really?
0 when I was born.
We're reconfiguring.
I had this surgery at 21 years old.
Okay.
Right? I blew out my back carrying a keg in college. I fell down on the ice backwards, and then I hurt it playing basketball later on. And that was the original. I had the same injury and the same. And then 20 years later of wear and tear, 21 years. I'm 42 years old. 21 years later, almost to the day, my old spine gives out, and my midlife spine says it's time. It's like your baby teeth. That's how I look
So
at
you're
it.
like a snake. You're like
My
shedding
midlife
your old...
spine has come to fruition now, and now shall take me to great heights, to what I believe still is the best athlete in the All Things Comedy Network overall. Once I get healthy again,
There's a lot of shows here, Steve.
bring it.
I mean, look, you and I have put up, we put up combined 4 championships,
Right.
at the Comedy Store, playing
We've
against elite
softball
basketball
together,
competition.
basketball together. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we ran together.
Yeah, we've worked out.
We've worked out together. You've seen
We've put up iron.
natural athletes.
So you can attest Steve's a good athlete.
100% he
Yes.
can attest.
Yes, Steve.
Guest on the show.
But Steve is that athlete where like like if he's not playing well, he's gonna act like this is an aberration. You know, like so.
It is. Was Kobe
playing basketball,
complacent?
Like Steve would drive, and like if he misses life, he'd be like, "God damn it!" Like, and you're like, "Wow, this guy isn't used to missing.
No, he's not. He's not.
Just having an off day."
He's not. But did this guy come from his own bachelor party from Vegas and come down and bang out a 2-pointer at a buzzer to win it
I
for the
do
Comedy
remember that.
Store? Greatest week of my entire life.
Because you almost died on the plane. Because the plane landing, as I recall, there was a lot of turbulence.
Yeah.
And you felt like you weren't going to make it
To the game.
And so it's like you almost just checked out, and you're like, whatever happens for the rest of my life is gravy. And that gravy included 2 points to defeat the Improv.
In 1 week, Lucas Earl, I was supposed to, right, have my bachelor party in Las Vegas. Right, that was the only thing on the TV show that I auditioned for and got picked up. So I had to go to New York. From New York, while I was in New York, at the upfronts where they treat you like a king to introduce your brand new show, they called me and said, this audition you did with Ari Shaffir with Tiger Woods, they want you. So I had to fly from New York to Florida to shoot a commercial.
With Tiger Woods?
With Tiger Woods. Me, Ari Shaffir, Tiger Woods. You can look it up somewhere. I don't know. Ari sent it out somewhere. Look it up. But from there, it's just verbals. But we were in a hotel room playing Tiger Woods golf, and we were shit-talking each other, and they chopped that up, and they actually used the playing that we did for the commercial. 2 days of hanging with Tiger Woods. I go straight from there to Las Vegas for my bachelor party. 3 days there, I come home. It's a Monday night game, Comedy Store. I'm hungover. The plane almost crashes, but I say, I have to go. The team needs me. Down by a point with 3 seconds left, I bang it in.
So it's like
because
Willis
I was
Reed.
touched with greatness. Tiger Woods and I, that week. Do you think I was going to let that ball not go in the hoop? Do you think I was going to let my team down? Did you think that was going to happen,
It was
Lucas
exactly
Earl?
like Willis Reed, except he was limping because he was so hungover.
I was dehydrated. I was like a cracker, a walking Ritz cracker with shoes on. I had 0.0 moisture in my body.
And a bad back.
And a back that was like, at this point, no, because it was like 10 years after. I was like 30 years old. So it was like my spine was like, it was giving me the. Do you understand what I'm going to be like when I'm fucking 50 years old, Mark?
Yeah,
if I did that at 30 with my 20s spine, my early life spine, do you know what's going to happen to me when I'm 40 or when I'm 50? That's
Seems
when
like-
it kicks in when I get senior PGA
Seems
Tour.
like athletically you peak when your spine is about 10 years old. So you're going to be 10 years old when you're about 50.
50.
And that's like right when like Dr. Gil Morgan started winning PGA Tour events. That's right when Hale Irwin started taking over. You know?
Yeah.
That's right when
Look at Bernard Langer.
Bernard Langer. That's a great one.
Exactly.
Ernie Els.
Yep.
About to VJ Singh.
I'm telling you guys, these guys, I'm going to be part of their of the
Chichi
war.
Rodriguez.
That's,
Do you have like a cool, like, oh, I like when the old guy plays because he does this. Like what's going to be your signature move after you make a big putt on the senior PGA Tour?
I'm going to go, fuck yeah.
You're going to spit in the cup. You're going to
No.
Sergio Garcia every hole you
Hey,
miss.
every tour needs a bad guy. You want me to be the bad guy? I'll shit in a cup, piss in a cup. I'll take over for John Daly. I'll do it. Whatever's going to keep me captivating out there, as long as I can keep my tour card playing, that's what I want to do.
See, I see you being 70 and getting a new hip and talking about how great your new hip is and how, you're going to go to new heights with your new...
I hope the hip doesn't give out. Hips are tough.
Speaking of new hips.
there's nothing that can... What?
2-0?
Tua. When I saw him go down, did anybody not think Bo Jackson?
Oh,
as
that's
soon as he
exactly
went
what I thought.
down,
I didn't think that till after when they said it was dislocated.
When he's on a
it's
golf cart?
very, like, it's not a common thing. Because that him dislocating his hip, getting tackled. Like, I think it was the weight of the two players as his weight landed. You know, it was either break your fucking femur or that bone pops out. And I think that's what happened. Whereas, like, Bo Jackson literally ripped his own, because of his own strength, ripped it out of the socket. The guy grabbed his leg, he went, fuck you, and he ripped his own hip out of his socket, dude. And then tried to play, I think.
He did, yeah.
He tried to, like, get up and play.
He tried to get up. Yeah, but there's footage of it because
Yeah.
it was a playoff game against the Bengals, and he gets up, and it's like he's trying to walk off the field. And then he realizes something is very different because this is both.
One leg is like 6 inches longer than the other because the hip is out of the socket.
Yeah, he's a walking tall tale. So, like, he's done everything that he's done is, like, memorialized in children's books. And so he's like, of course I'm going to get up and walk off the field. And then when it doesn't work out that way, it just became a totally different thing.
It was terrible. But I was in a hotel in Nashville. By the way, thank you very much to everyone who came out to the shows at Zany's in Nashville this past weekend. Thank you to Lucy. Thank you to Dorfman up there, or down there, whatever the hell they are from here. We had a great time. I split shows with Big J Okerson, who was fantastic. Shout out to the Legions of Skanks. And Jessica Michelle Singleton middled all the shows, who was great.
You stay at the condo?
She did.
Condo's great.
I stayed at the hotel. Jay
Yeah.
stayed at the hotel. And it was great. I did the early shows. He did the late shows. I went to Huntsville for a night and Thursday, which was great. I love that club too. Thank you very much to the Huntsville folk. But yeah, it was a great weekend. Thanks to Hattie B's for giving me diarrhea.
Dude, that hot chicken is so good.
What level do you get?
I do when I go there, I get the tenders that are the second one, or maybe I just get medium tenders, but I always get
medium.
Me and my two buddies who meet me there, we each get an order of 3 tenders that are the 3-alarm or like the hottest ones, and we each do one of them.
What?
Just as a test. Just as a test.
The Southern is nothing, and then there's like mild, medium, hot, and then there's like 1 alarm, 2 on the last one's like like clicking, flicking, or whatever. Good. I don't know what it is, but it's like, I mean, I didn't see anyone try it there. I know Ari tried it. I saw his Instagram a couple weeks before that, and he was like pouring milk on his tongue outside the fucking place.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Sir, can you please?" So I just do mild. Big J did medium, and he was like, we got to go.
I had to go to the emergency room one time because
From
of
that?
hot sauce. Not from Hattie B's, but because I was doing this thing. I was shooting the show on camera, and it was this movie trivia show between me and a YouTube guy named Jeremy Johns. We're competing in movie trivia, and if you missed the question, you had to do a mystery shot. And so the crew is back there, and then, like, we're all friends, and so they're just mixing all of this. Like, it'd be like a shot of salad dressing, like a shot of like mustard or whatever it was. You missed it, you had to do a shot, and they got hot sauce, but they thought that it was just like normal hot sauce, but it was this 365 Magnum or something like that, and it's like some of the hottest hot sauce you can possibly have. Full shot of it.
I'm not good with that.
And I missed it, and I was on the bathroom floor for like 2 hours because it just kept going up and down my throat, throwing it up, going back down, throwing it up. So I finally ended up going to the emergency room, and the best part is I'm getting checked into the emergency room, and in the waiting area, you can hear a guy who's probably got like an arrow through his head. He was in pain, and he hears me talking, and the guy says, "Yo, just give him some milk." Young man,
Give the pussy some milk. Like a little cat outside, that pussy. Give him the milk. My fucking arrow's gonna click off my brain.
He just kept calling me young man. And you don't want to look back because you don't know what's like if it's
He's
some
an
sort of
80-year-old
Civil
man
War
with an arrow reenactment.
don't know what's
Civil War
back there.
reenactment gone wrong.
Young man.
No, I don't mess with that stuff. I've got a delicate palate, and I got to speak for a living. I can't have my taste buds sizzle off because of
No.
your hot sauce. Yeah, that was terrible on Saturday, though, with Tua. I was, look, I don't know how you feel about the decision to keep him in the game up until that point or whatever, score-wise. They had a plan. You tell me the plan. The plan's the plan. Play him the first half. They wanted him to run the 2-minute offense, and something bad happened. I don't blame if they fire him or whatever because of that.
No, they're not going to fire him.
Not going to fire him because of that, I'm saying. But, like, I can see how they come down on him, but his point is very valid.
He was in tears. I've never seen Nick Saban cry.
Of course he was in
I think he
tears.
cried for the first time Saturday.
It was a tough thing to watch your fucking quarterback in a freak accident get carted off the field, and you know what that means. He's gone.
Oh, wait, y'all do this Wednesday. So the biggest story of the week in football was Thursday night.
Of course.
I'm at an airport, and I had one of those great airport sports bar experiences.
Oh, no, you were with other strangers.
I was at LAX at Rockin' Brews, about to take off to fly to D.C. to do shows, and I'm sitting there.
Rockin' Brews?
Yeah. Rockin'
Dude, that
Brews.
I've been there. I've had
Right?
breakfast, lunch,
Yeah.
and dinner at that Rockin' Brews.
The best part about the Rockin' Brews, it's right across from like the Healthy Place Lemonade.
What's that, Terminal
It's-
4?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're staring at all
American
the people
over there?
going to Lemonade, and we're no. We're gonna get chickens, and we're gonna get sliders, and we're gonna get beer. We're gonna watch this football.
Is that the terminal that dupes you? It's like, you're Terminal 4, Gate 52, and then you get there, it's like, no, now you got to take a fucking train 3.5 miles to a thing when you have to barely run to your fucking plane. You're like, I didn't know this was a part of it. A riddle at the end and waiting for buses. Fuck LAX right now, and the goddamn lift thing they got going over there.
Oh my God! It's a
Fuck
nightmare.
everyone on that line. I knew it was coming. That's it, dude. I'm getting out of here. I'm quitting the business. Sorry. Go ahead. No, I yeah. I
I'm
was
gonna
good.
drive to San Diego to fly out for Thanksgiving. Because I can't do Burbank's too expensive.
It's too much.
LAX is you're not flying out of LAX.
No.
It's the whole airplane is one. It's one big Spirit Airlines now because just a bunch of people who are missing their flights because of the traffic backup.
It's a nightmare. Who builds a
atrocious.
circle?
Yeah.
Everything go in one, out one? Whose stupid fucking idea was that? We make it simple. Yeah? Is it simple now? Is it simple now that there's 50 billion people on the planet that no one can get in and out? No one. You're going to start just seeing people just walk. That's it. It's going to be a walkway. Yeah. That's what they say. Oh, everything's going to be easier in 2024 when they build that little zip thing around. Mm-hmm. What? For why? What? Because unless I can get on it from the 405,
No.
I'll zip on it from there, but
No.
not from anywhere. I mean, it's a nightmare. And then you're going to put the Olympics in. This is all for the Olympics. Let me tell you, I live right near the Rose Bowl. Do you know what I'm doing during the Olympics? I'm Airbnb-ing my house, right? I'm going to give tickets to the soccer events that are going to be there, and I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Are they doing events at the Rose Bowl?
I'm sure they're going to do events at the Rose Bowl.
I don't even know. Look,
It's 100,000 seats.
It's 2028. Okay. Do you know what the air quality in Los Angeles is going to be in 20? Nobody's
Oh.
going to come here. We may be dead. Let's
10 years, Mark.
Let's
That's
put that
9
on the
years.
table. Let's just say we may all be like zombies. We may not be here anymore.
But we
I am
still have
really
Olympics.
behind on my like jiu-jitsu and like MMA skills, if that's the case.
Yeah, your spine is going to be peaking at the right time to
Well,
fight off all those zombies.
I got to get the skills
You're going
first.
to have your new
I'm
spine.
a little behind on my training. Right now, it's just a little bit of. I'll get a fucking, the Aquanet and a match.
Yeah. Have you never seen a zombie show? That does
I know, I'm gonna
nothing
kill
to
them in the head.
zombies,
No,
Steve. You can't burn their head.
Mark, I'm not afraid of zombies. Zombies, I get them in the head. I'm afraid of the people that will come for the supplies that I have accumulated after I've killed all said zombies near my place.
So you
okay?
burn the live people.
So the live people get fucking blowtorched
Okay.
with the Aquanet and the fucking lighter.
What if it happened during the Olympics? That's like a World War Z sequel right there. The Olympics are in Los Angeles. Nobody can get into LAX. What's going on? All of a sudden,
Do you know what?
zombies.
Do you know what our home invasion plan is right now? We have a baseball bat or a golf club at every single entrance of the house. And wherever you're here tonight, you just grab the nearest said base, and then you just
Right.
attack what you like anyone in the house.
Well, you're growing a couple young
I know, but
Gronkowskis.
it's like Home Alone is basically our
You have the
our game plan.
battle
For,
plan.
yeah, like
Do
we
you have
have-
a tarantula just wandering around the house?
like Jonah goes to the rafters and sends down a paint can. While Jackson hits him in the knee with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
When he falls to the floor, I'm there with a spike.
It's got to be exciting as a dad having a couple of athletes.
It's exciting to go to watch and not be right now the dad that's like doing everything.
Do you see that poor ump, the short ump who got heckled so bad he quit?
No, a short umpire
Oh
because
my God.
he was short.
So these parents were taking it too far.
Oh, it is a little league game.
Yeah, they were yelling at the ump because they thought he was making it back. They were just being typical douchey parents, right? And the ump turns around, takes his mask off, and says he wants every parent to shut up. He's like, I'm going to make my calls. Let the kids play.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up. And he goes back and he puts his mask on. He's about ready to start calling the game again. And this woman from the stands yells, "Are you upset because the kids are taller than you?" And at that point, the ump says that's enough. Takes his mask off, gets his car keys out of his pocket, walks
Stands
to
on
his
top
car.
of them, goes, "Listen to me, ma'am. Uncalled for."
He literally, you're watching a person change careers in front of your eyes.
I feel terrible for these. Well, look, umpires. I've run into all. I've seen the umpires that like make the show about themselves, like make the game about themselves, who have taken phone calls.
Yeah, he's
between
not
pitches.
doing that. That you know.
Yeah, but if you're getting on top of someone because they're short,
Right.
I want to watch. Yeah, let's get back to Myles Garrett. Did you? Oh, so first of all, I watched it. I was on stage when it happened. I watched the replay. Where you were in the airport bar.
Airport bonding with strangers. We were all in collective shock and then could not stop watching the replay.
Were there obvious Cleveland fans there? Were there obvious Pittsburgh fans
Obvious
there?
Pittsburgh fans there.
Okay.
Who were getting very upset.
Violently upset.
They were looking for someone to expose themselves as a Cleveland fan. No Cleveland fans that I'm aware of at the venue. I had my Redskins hoodie on.
No Richie Taylor there to go. No, he's a Pittsburgh fan. Sorry, but I think he's from Cleveland.
No.
Yeah.
Richie Taylor had a flag football game that night, I believe.
How long? Well, today, Myles Garrett met with the NFL today in New York. I think they told him that you're done for the year.
He appealed it
because you can't suspend someone indefinitely. You can't. That's like not a suspension. That's like you're banned then. So you have to give like an end date when you give.
Right.
So
it would be 6 games.
So they have to give him like whatever it's going to be. But he seemed pretty remorseful in his statement. He brought his parents with him.
That's a good move.
Yeah, his parents, an executive from the Browns I don't know who it was, and then someone from the Players Association.
If you have kids, it's better. But if you don't have kids, bring your parents.
His parents.
Bring Mason Rudolph's parents.
Mason Rudolph.
Hey, his parents are cool with me, so it's just
Do you think
fair
Mason
to
Rudolph deserved a game?
No, I don't think Marquise Pouncey deserved a game. I think Marquise Pouncey, if there's a way to give him more games, I think that's what Marquise Pouncey deserved. Because once you see somebody rip off your quarterback's helmet and hit them in the face with it, you as an offensive lineman should be authorized to do whatever you can to stop that from happening. All Marquise Pouncey did was get on top of this guy after that
hit
happened
him with a
and
fist
rain
into a helmet.
punches.
Why are people continuously doing that? Hitting into the helmet with a closed fist. You're only going to break your fucking hand.
Yeah, it's really going to hurt.
It's really not it's ill-advised.
I mean, Marquise Pouncey, maybe not as intelligent as Myles Garrett when it comes to combat.
Dude, you got to know like more jiu-jitsu then. You got to grab a thumb and twist it, and then get down on it rather than fucking trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what's the goal there, just to get him off or to actually send a message and injure somebody else?
I think it's just I think that you rain blows to the point where you kind of wedge the helmet off and then you can get like a chin shot or an ear shot at him.
I don't know what's going on with Myles Garrett. He seems like a nice guy. Someone punched him in the face and he all he did was leave the area and call the authorities. Like a fan punched him in the face.
Right.
A couple weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah, just wanted a picture.
But then again, he did smash himself on top of I think 2 or 3 Jets quarterbacks and basically ruined their entire season.
Yeah, he basically ended what's-his-face's career.
Simeon's or whatever that
Trevor
guy.
Simeon, yeah.
Done.
It wasn't much of a career, but
it's over now.
So Myles Garrett's he appealed on the basis of Antonio Smith for the Texans. He got a preseason game and 2 regular season games for hitting Richie Cognito.
Yeah.
But there's 2 big differences. One, it's Richie Incognito, so he probably said something.
Richie Incognito seems like
Richie Incognito is the guy that if he's in
like
the
a
back parking
catalyst
lot
of
of the
most
comedy
problems.
store, you're like, hey, Richie, you got to tone it down here.
Yeah, you're
Okay,
like,
you can't be
whoa,
saying
whoa.
this stuff. And so, but Antonio Smith took off his own helmet and hit Incognito.
Yeah.
It's worse if you rip off the opponent's helmet.
Although if you look at it, it looks to me like Rudolph was trying to rip off Myles Garrett's helmet unsuccessfully, probably. And maybe that's what he felt. You're going to rip my helmet off, I'm going to rip your helmet off. That's where it should have ended. Right there, I would have been good. You get 2 games, you get 1 game. Everyone, but then the after that, it's the smash after that makes it now an illegal thing where you can probably be prosecuted if you were on the street. And then, look, that's the thing. It's like, do you then say, well, everything or anyone that gets involved for the right reasons doesn't get suspended after that, AKA Pouncey, and anyone that gets involved in it after that for the wrong reasons, like the Browns linebacker, what was that guy's name? Ngaju or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you're
Njoku?
Yeah. Then it's like, then you're going to get suspended. But then it's like, how do you then say like, oh, well, you're good, well-intentioned, not well-intentioned? It's like I watch those gang fight videos, and it's like I don't know who's going in to break it up and who's going in to fucking send a message.
What's it like when you appeal?
I'm not a fight analyst. Yeah, we're gonna have to have Joe Rogan come in and tell everyone about who's well-intentioned and not well-intentioned. So, I mean, I guess if you're just saying like anyone that gets in the middle of a fight after a fight happens, but protection's protection. I don't have a problem with Pouncey. I'm sure he probably needed a week off to recover from that hand. I mean, I love Joe Buck. This is the worst.
Oh, Troy.
The worst thing I've seen in a professional sports arena.
I have never looked at...
The melee at the Palace looked to me way worse because I was like, they're going into the stands. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, everybody says that's
anyone's game now.
The worst moment in sports history. That could have... Think about how much worse that could have been.
I was in Guam with Sam Tripoli doing shows with the troops. Now, we had experienced a lot of horrible things on the outside of that, but we were like, let's go back to the hotel and take a break for a second, relax and watch an NBA game. And we watched that game going, oh my God. And that was a sign for the rest of that trip. But I remember being like, oh my God, they're going into the stands. They are not fucking around. Mm-hmm. That to me was worse. This was like, and then remember when Rudy Tomjanovich got punched in the face?
By Kermit Washington?
Yeah, dude. And that was like,
yeah,
like Kimbo Slice violent.
Rudy T was charging him.
Yep, and he was like...
Kermit, he just ran into Kermit's fist.
I know.
And it shattered his face.
I know. Badly.
God, but again, that's player on player. Mm-hmm. The player going into
weapons
the
are a different story.
stands.
And then the guy, remember the hockey player that smashed, I wish Earl was here, or Biddlecombe. I can't remember. I think it was I don't want to say Bruin because I don't want Boston getting upset at me.
When Marty McSorley hit Donald Brashear
in the side
behind.
of the head,
yeah.
and
they called it like a race thing too.
Oh, that was a terror. I mean,
yeah.
He wasn't even looking.
Yeah.
So weapons, bad. But do I think Myles Garrett will play again? Yeah, probably.
I think next year.
Game 1?
I think game 1 next year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think game 1. I think it's game 4. Or 5. I think they're going to give him 4 games next year. 4 games this year? Was it 4 or 6?
I think it's 6.
6 games this year, 4 games next year. That's that. Browns aren't making the playoffs either way. I think it would be more complicated if they did. If they do make the playoffs, the Browns, I think they don't maybe tack on games next year. But if the Browns don't, then I had lunch a little early today.
What'd you go with?
Well, Tracy made chili.
It's
and then
going to be one of those shows.
Touch and go right now, guys. You saw me kind of whirling into that one, right? I was like,
maybe we should have Lucas lead the show today.
I was like, Browns is tough to say when you've got a bit of a fucking gurgle.
I'd feel much more comfortable talking to Lucas while Andy Reid over here digests his meal. He's like a big laminated plate.
Belichick got at it.
Just chime in when you feel.
No,
like
I'm right. Listen to me. What was I saying? The Browns, they're not getting in the playoffs, okay? Especially not without Myles Garrett.
Hey, Mahomes, Pat, why don't you call the next 3 plays by yourself?
I got a bit of a sausage comb coming on. Oh, man, dude. Speaking of Andy Reid, I was happy about the Chiefs winning in Mexico City. Everyone seemed that was supposed to have won this week. Congratulations to us as a podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. For those of you who have been following along, we have finally, I want to get the sound effects I have up. So terribly produced right now. I've got to find the app. Here it is. Hold on, sound effects. After 9 weeks now, this is 8 weeks of trying. After I had to literally broke my back to carry this podcast across the line. We have finally gotten Lucas paid, ladies and gentlemen. He got paid this week. We did it. We went 3-0 with our trifecta. parlay, whatever you call it. We won 3 games, and we're happy about it, and it was a fucking nail-biter. At one point, I thought that I read the bet wrong, and I thought that Brenton fucked us again. So I sent out a very scathing text message to Brenton. Shout out to Brenton, who is not with us today. He's on the road. I think he's doing, what is he doing, the Glory Hole tour? Where he goes to different glory holes across America.
Yes, he did comment in the Facebook section, though.
What did he say?
He said, you're slow and full of Halloween candy, Steve.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ooh.
Is that what that little gnome said out loud?
Yes.
Yeah?
15 minutes ago.
$1 billion baby Bretton Biddlecombe?
So he is with
On
us.
the internet now.
It was on the internet. Well, tell him to keep his fucking comments to himself. I'm trying to run a podcast here. Okay? Thank you very much.
I miss Brenton. Hi, Brenton, if you're watching.
Okay. Anyway.
I can like both of you.
I know you can like both of it. And I like Brenton, too, when he's not a moron, which is very small percentage of the time.
So he had a losing streak, I understand.
0-8.
That was
There is no
costing
greater losing streak.
Lucas money.
Every week. And not only Lucas, but his best friend, okay? That he has to look in the eye and go,
Bill's Mafia.
Yes. Bill's Mafia together. These two are like they would jump off tables like the British Bulldogs of Buffalo.
We will if they don't make the playoffs.
I know we have a bet that I said they're not making the playoffs. Now my bet did take a hit this week.
Yeah.
With you guys winning, congratulations. Oh, you did what you were supposed to do? Okay, great. Congratulations.
You know what the wild card could come down to in the AFC?
The Raiders.
The Raiders could take.
The Raiders are going to either take the West or they're going or they're going to take a wild card spot. 100%.
But there's 2 wild card spots.
Yes, there is 2 wild card spots.
So the other one
is
it's going to come down to an Adam Vinatieri kick.
Ooh.
Indianapolis.
I don't know if I trust. I still trust him in the clutch.
Indianapolis or Buffalo.
I think it's going to be Buffalo.
Well,
I think it could be Buffalo and Indy over the Raiders, though. I don't know why. I don't know what on earth has possessed you to believe that much in the Oakland Raiders, soon to be of Las Vegas.
I'll tell you what.
They look good. They're playing well.
They got their shit together, dude. They have come together. First of all, they have an easy schedule for the rest of the
Bills
season.
have a tough schedule the rest of the season.
Bills have a way tougher schedule. So I know that if it came down to the Bills and the Raiders, I 100% think the Raiders are taking it. But there's 2 spots, and I think that Indianapolis or Houston?
Houston's probably going to win.
Houston's going to win.
Division.
Indianapolis, Buffalo. I mean, look, I don't know the Indianapolis schedule. I know Buffalo's schedule. You got to play the Patriots. You got to play Dallas, I believe, right?
Play the Broncos this week. Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Broncos are not an easy out.
Broncos
they're not good, but they're not an easy out.
They're not like a gimme now anymore. And they really should have won that game this weekend. Didn't the Broncos
the
almost
Broncos should have won like 4 games this year.
They've given up 3 fourth-quarter leads within like 5 minutes, too.
You got to play the Ravens.
If the Bills win this weekend, they'll make the playoffs for sure.
This week you have the Ravens. Yes.
No, this week they have the Broncos.
Oh, the Broncos.
Then they have Dallas.
That's a loss. A loss to the Ravens.
Oh, God, I'd love to see the Bills beat the Cowboys on
That
Thanksgiving.
Steelers game's going to be big. Nice. The Patriots game's a loss. And then you got you have who knows what now I had another bet because I've been looking at who do you think wins more games for the rest of the season, the Jets or the Falcons? Both have had bad starts, obviously, but they're both 3-7.
The Falcons did that magic thing though, where they fired 3 coordinators, and so I think that I trust Matt Ryan a lot more than I trust Sam Darnold right now.
Although last weekend he had a great game, Darnold.
Great. He's had good games before, then he sees ghosts the next game.
I trust the Jets' defense over the Falcons' defense.
I think the Falcons have found something. They're both bad teams.
The Colts.
If it comes down to the Colts and Bills, Frank Reich will come through for the Bills again.
Okay, the Colts got to win tomorrow. Nicely done.
Oh, wait. I know why Darnold looked good last week.
The Redskins.
Yeah, that doesn't count. That's like the Bills beating the Dolphins. You can't take anything away from that.
But it's like they did it.
Steve, let's not drag this out.
They're a professional football team.
Are they?
The Giants.
Are they, Steve?
We beat them.
I know you did.
I know. I mean, not barely. The Colts are going to beat the Texans tomorrow night.
That's a hot take. I think the Texans have a rebound game. Because they looked dreadful
Well, it depends.
against the Ravens.
Is Brissett playing?
Yeah.
Brissett is playing.
And what about Marlon Mack? Return to Marlon Mack.
He broke his hand. I think he's out 4 weeks.
Fuck.
Yeah.
See, that's a problem. That's a big problem for the Colts.
That's a
and
big
my
problem for
prediction
you.
for the Bills.
Yeah.
And your fantasy team.
And a couple fantasy teams. They're going to beat the Titans. They're going
Colts
to
are
beat
tough,
the Bucks. They're going to lose to the Saints on the road. They'll beat the Panthers and they'll beat the Jaguars. So
Possibly my
Good luck.
favorite game of the season was when the Colts went to KC and beat the Chiefs, just because I do enjoy old school style football. I love all the video game antics we get now with quarterbacks running all over the place and throwing for 5 touchdowns. It was
But you
really
wanna
nice
see an old-fashioned
to see an
shootout?
old-fashioned defensive struggle kind of game.
Antonio Brown apologized. Did you see that to the New England Patriots today?
Oh,
To
he didn't
Robert
apologize
Kraft.
to the trainer who he texted that I jizzed on your back.
Do you know what this is? I don't
That
know if
seems
he
like
did.
the first apology in my book to make.
I mean, maybe he apologized right after. Maybe he was supposed to get it somewhere else.
Just imagine. Can you imagine typing that text out?
I can't imagine a
getting
lot of things that he did during that period of his time, and I'm done trying to kind of figure him out. But to me, this signal is like, hey, you know what? You guys miss me. I watched you play. Your offense looks kind of shitty.
He's opportunistic.
Hey, and if you're the Patriots, do you even consider that at all?
Here's what I don't know.
Based on what you've seen this past couple weeks, the inability to really run the ball.
They
not
have
really-
no offensive threats other than Edelman. Watson's hit or miss.
Mohamed Sanu's sort of,
He's hurt. He hurt his knee.
but even before that, wasn't an answer.
Why did they get rid of
Josh Gordon. I don't understand that either.
When I heard he was on,
He was hurt.
but I assumed he was out for the rest of the year, and that's why they got rid of him.
And then
But no,
also
now
I
he's
see him
back.
on Seattle making decent catches in the slot. So I didn't get that either. But I don't know. What are the odds he plays for another team this year? Or I mean, it's going to be the Patriots. Do you think they
No, he won't
No.
play for another team.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not even
He's
if
done.
the Patriots lose this week to whoever they're playing. I don't even know. Maybe they have a bye or something. But
Who plays first, him or Myles Garrett?
That's a good question. I think Myles Garrett.
in the NFL, I would say,
Who would Vince McMahon rather lead
Well, it's
the
like, are they
XFL
gonna-
campaign? Antonio Brown or Myles Garrett?
I guess I would have to say Myles Garrett, just because I don't know how this thing with he could get suspended. Even if a team signs him, they may lose him for a couple games.
Right.
But I do think a team signs him next year, or at least gives him an opportunity to play.
It's a tricky thing because you have to be a team, in my opinion, that is good enough to need a receiver to make the playoff push. So that takes like the Redskins out of it, teams like that. But you don't, if you're that good to be in playoff consideration, you may not want to risk signing him for the chemistry locker room implications, for the distraction.
It's got to be a coach. You got to have the right coach. You got to have I don't know.
But all these coaches are so confident that they can be the one to reach through.
I'm
to
sure
the
Pete
player.
Carroll's like, give me Antonio Brown. I could coach him up and get him in the right direction and
Well,
stuff.
I think Carroll could, but also because Russell Wilson is
Mike Tomlin, Bill Belichick, and
John Gruden.
John Gruden all tried. Those are three pretty good coaches. So
Well, Belichick didn't do anything wrong though. Belichick just signed a guy.
that's what I'm
and
saying.
then
Though
all
he
these
tried
allegations
to get
came
it.
out.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm going to try to get
Yeah.
along with you. We're going to try to make you part of the system. We're going to try to make you comfortable. So I wasn't like he was like, hey, you better fucking get on board with our system right away or whatever. He was trying to be accommodating.
I think he might work pretty well with Doug Peterson. I think he might work pretty well with Frank Reich.
They have nowhere to throw the Eagles. They have no deep threats
they
since
have
Deshaun
nothing.
Jackson, and they want to take the top off of it, and he can't. He's not a dink and dunk kind of guy. He wants to step back, and he wants to fucking fire that ball. And if it's not there, he'll run around. He'd rather run around and get 10 yards and not have you miss it, tip it, throw it into someone else's hands, a defender. I'm going to run for 8 yards, and I'm going to tuck the ball, and I'm going to get down. I'm going to take a small hit, but that's that. So I'd rather do that. That's Carson Wentz. But you got to give him a guy that he can throw the fucking ball to down the field.
Game Antonio Brown. Philly's been a very forgiving city to athletes.
Philly wouldn't give a fuck.
No.
Philly's like, do whatever you want. Do it on the field. Do it in the. We got a room for that. Philly, didn't they build?
We got a room for that.
Philly's got a room in there where the Flyers play. It's a smash room. You can go in there and smash a TV, smash a fucking wall for like $30 an hour. They give you a crowbar and there's all this shit in there. You just smash whatever you want.
They had a courthouse in Veterans Stadium.
Of course, they don't give a
courthouse.
fuck. So Antonio Brown would fit in fine there. But I don't think he's going to play. I do think it is a sort of a feeler, a public feeler.
Do you think he plays next year?
Yes.
I think he'll be on a team next year.
Yes. He's too talented.
Think he'll be on a squad
something
next year.
happens, unless he has a injury that he like tears something during like a training session, or these allegations are truthful and probably even worse than what were reported. So speaking of that, Kaepernick tried out. We did a bet last week, or we talked about whether or not he would actually, I guess, not make a team, but get an offer.
Right.
I didn't realize that he was going to move the whole thing and then kind of
What
X
a
out
raw
his chances.
deal he got, though. Like the NFL.
So explain to me how it's a raw deal.
The NFL called him on like a Tuesday, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, you can work out Saturday, this Saturday,
Yeah.
week 11."
That's fine. Okay. Oh, I guess that I had a problem with that. I talked about that last week. I'm like, this seems a little ill-timed and really not like a good gesture. But once he decided to say yes, now like I don't want to sign the contract. I don't want to do this. Let's move over there. All that shit to me just is like, well, what was this? What was the reason for this?
I don't know why
Was
he
it-
moved the session to a different location. I don't know what is better about that location than that, unless it's just some like I want to retain a little bit of say so in this charade.
The only thing I can gather is that he wanted to bring in his own film, because I think that in his mind he probably thinks, well, maybe if they film it, they'll edit it and they'll give out like my bad throws, and I'd like to have control over that. Okay, fine.
That's fair.
The NFL was saying that he wanted to shoot a Nike commercial there. Nike was like, that's not truthful at all. It has nothing to do with us at all. And then, so he was like, I'm going to move it to where I want to move it so I can film it. Whereas I'm like, I'm looking at it like, is this you trying to get a job? Because if I'm trying to get a job and you want to possibly give me a job, I'll throw a football on a street. I'll throw it on a college football. I'll throw it at a high school. I'll throw it wherever the fuck you want me to throw it. Wherever you want me to throw it. Give me a job. I feel like I'm better than that guy or this guy or that guy, but to then be like, well, I'm going to dictate the terms of this. Well, that's not how life works. You're going to get a job, whether you've been colluded against, whether you've been discriminated against. Obviously, I believe that he has 100%. I believe there's no way that he's not as good as half the fucking backups in the NFL. But if you're trying to prove a point, you got to go out there and you got to earn it, and you got to play by the rules. The combine guys, no matter how good you are, don't get to go, well, they can say I'm not running or I'm not doing this or I'm not doing that, but that's their own thing. But they can't say like, well, I'm going to go and have it at a different day or a different place, and you guys got to come watch me there.
Well, you can do that, though. You can have your own pro day.
You can have your own pro day.
And
at
about
your own college.
all these things well more in advance than 4 days with the NFL
yes.
setting all that up. So I
But-
think that he looked at it like, this thing is so stacked against me that I'm going to try to level the playing field a little bit here. And even if that costs me some teams showing up, then to your point earlier, then I want to be able to film it so that all 32 teams can at least have tape on me working out and going through all these
Who
phases.
hasn't seen tape of this guy throwing footballs for the last fucking 3 years?
Recently,
Every time we talk about him, there's a video of him out there working out or throwing footballs, or like, I'm just saying, it's like, I know he's in good shape. Trust me, I believe he's better. But I'm just saying, if you want to do it, you've got to, like, they're not going with this guy. If he's looking for them to be like, hey, we're sorry. Come here. Give me your hands.
it's never going to happen.
We're going to bring you
Yeah.
back in. Here's
Yeah.
all the guys, and we're so sorry. They're going to make you do the shit that you don't want to do. They're going to make you not sign the contract you don't want to sign. They're going to make you do all. They're not going to make it easy for you.
They should have a ceremony before he starts next year for whatever team. And it's like in the NBA, when you get your championship ring, he's just standing in midfield. Every suit from the NFL comes up, shakes his hand, and apologizes.
I mean, that's look. I'm not saying that's what he wants. I don't know what he wants. I think he got what he wanted. I worked out. It's on video. I got my point out, my opinion, but I don't think he did himself any benefit by going about it the way he did.
I think that this year has radically changed how people view a quarterback like Colin Kaepernick. Because even last year, when Lamar Jackson took over for the Ravens, and we're like, all right, this is cute what they're doing. They gear the offense around him, but come on, guys, this is going to work in the playoffs. And it didn't work in the playoffs. But this year has been totally different. When you look at a quarterback like Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes, even Russell Wilson, where you can be a running quarterback and you can protect yourself, and these offenses are so much more set up for you than they were even back in Colin Kaepernick's heyday. So I think he sees that, and he's like, this is the time for me to come back for a few years and really make a stamp on the NFL.
I mean, he's like 35 years old or whatever.
He's 32.
32.
If I'm any NFL team, I want to sign him to run at least my practice squad. Because I need to practice against somebody who moves like
That's a good
Deshaun
point.
Watson or Lamar Jackson.
You know why? It's here's my point about where I think he could benefit in a system like, you know who Lamar Jackson's backup is? Robert Griffin.
Yes, I
How
do.
great is that? Where you have that kind of quarterback with that elite athletic ability. And then if, God forbid, he gets hurt, we don't have to reconfigure our entire offense. We don't have to. We probably have to limit it a little bit, but we've got an older version of that style of quarterback.
And you have a guy who went through the 2012 season, Robert Griffin III, who got hurt at the end because he did not protect his body. So you have that guy mentoring Lamar Jackson and letting him know from first-hand experience, dude, you have to get out of bounds. You cannot take these shots or else you're going to end up like me.
So I don't know if Kansas City's in the market, or if they sent anyone, or people that have mobile quarterbacks. I know you guys consider Josh Allen a mobile quarterback, or,
The fastest.
in that style.
And strongest.
Brenton and fucking this guy are like... Every time I talk about Lamar Jackson, it's like, and Kyle Allen, I'm like, can we stop doing this equivalent?
Josh Allen.
Please? Josh Allen. I'd rather have Kyle or the other one that started.
No, you don't.
No, he didn't have a great weekend.
Josh Allen can move a little bit. Your boy Danny Dimes can move a little
My
bit.
boy Danny Dimes moves just as good as fucking Allen. And I'm
Pocket
saying his
awareness,
last name now,
Steve.
'cause you know
Pocket
which one I'm
awareness.
talking about. Look, I don't think he gets a job. I think he doesn't get an offer.
The Vegas odds yesterday of him finding a team were it was plus 500 that he does.
Yeah, so that's not good.
I don't think he finds a team this year. I think he's in a training camp next year. I think he's in a training camp with somebody next year.
Well, he gets invited to.
I think he's in camp. I think, and it may end up where he's not offered a backup position, but he is offered practice team or something like that. But I think he's somewhere.
Yeah, well, I think it's a good idea to have him come into a camp and have him work through the system that everybody else goes through.
Right.
And have him, try out and, show what he can do in the preseason against, second and third string guys. And then if he can make a team, great. But if he doesn't, he'll probably have a good amount of tape to be able to go then, you know how those things work. With watch Hard Knocks and shit, everybody gets picked up after the cuts get made and stuff. So if he's good enough, he'll make a team. And we'll know maybe a little bit more if it's bullshit. If it's like he's lighting it up, it's like, how is this guy not as good as so-and-so? But...
a couple of years ago, I thought that part of it was collusion, and I thought that part of it was just that people just didn't want him to be their quarterback because what he brought to the table is not worth all the controversy with the fan base. But when you look at the quarterback play across the league this year, Colin Kaepernick should be playing somewhere.
That's my point. My point is this: it's like I'm not looking at him as like my go-to quarterback, my QB1. He's not my QB1, so I don't need my QB2 causing me headaches by kneeling.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a very fucking logical thing that runs around a billionaire's mind.
Yeah, I don't want Chase Daniel causing me controversy.
I'm not having, Orlovsky cost me my fucking life's fortune.
Yeah.
I
don't want Sean Salisbury causing me any issues.
So let's just, let's put all Matt Leinart and everybody else on the fucking back burner and realize that we just need to have like a nice clipboard carrying person that knows how to wear a headset and can direct people.
Oh, hey guys, Ken Graham's taking a knee again.
Exactly.
What are we going to do about this?
Set him on fire. I don't know what to tell you. That's what they'll probably say. So I do believe there was collusion. I do, but I'm just saying is if you want to prove your point, you got to do it the way they want you to do it. Rocky didn't want to fight in Russia, but he had to go over there to do it.
Well, Steve, those are very different circumstances.
It's exactly the same thing, Mark.
They were both nonfiction.
Speaking of fucking cheaters, speaking of low down, filthy, vile cheaters, This podcast is brought to you by Mattress Mac in Houston. Mattress Mac. Go to Mattress Mac for all your mattress needs in Houston. If you're in the Houston area, that filthy animal will give you a mattress and then tell you that if the Astros win the World Series, that you don't have to pay for it. But meanwhile, he's backing it up with his gambling. And this year, it all crumbled on Mattress Mac, didn't it? You feel all the fucking. You feel the box frames falling on top of you now, Mattress Mac? $3 million out. $10 million he spent to casinos out the door. And the fucking Astros lost the World Series. And you're a bunch of goddamn cheaters. And you treat women like shit.
Yeah, what's your sleep number now?
Yeah, buddy.
Mac.
0, buddy. 0 is your sleep number. And I'll tell you what. I saw Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball yesterday.
He looks like he enjoys a good bowl of chili.
Coming down hard on them, but unfortunately he was wearing a hard hat and he looked like Bob the Builder. Do you see this fucking? Can you pull up? Manfred came. He's like, this is egregious. Meanwhile, he's wearing a fucking hard hat. He's got the thing on.
Someone's calling the Skype.
The Skype, does it work?
Yeah, apparently it's working.
All right. Let's take a call. I'm very upset. Hey, what's up? You're on What's the Odds with Steve Renazizi. Hello? Hey, buddy, you're nailing this call right now. Hello?
Oh, there's something wrong with our microphone.
Oh, something wrong with our mic. So someone's trying, but hey,
Steve,
man.
blaming the
I hope
caller.
this is not like this is your last wish and you're on the side of the road or something like that. Hey, man, it's gonna get better, right? I love you. One day we'll get these microphones and this whole. Hello, can you hear me?
Walk towards the light.
Can you use your lips into the phone? I heard him say, "God damn it!" It could be him. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, what a podcast!
I thought it was Luke for a minute. I thought it was Lucas's voice.
Jason Lucas?
No, this guy.
Oh,
right?
Lucas Hurl. Oh, I was
Jason
like,
Lucas.
hey man, hey, it's me. I'm driving with. I got 8 kids in the back. Come
Hey
on,
man, they call out spots yet?
You got spot tomorrow night? Where was I? Oh, yeah. Rob Manfred. I was on ESPN. Yep, there he is with the fucking helmet on. He had a little vest, a green vest on too, talking about how terrible it was going to be, how he's going to come down. Oh, there was orange. Sorry, an orange vest, and how this is he considers it terrible.
Did I fix it?
I don't know. Hello?
I can hear you this
Yeah, what's up? You're on What's the Odds? What's your name, brother?
time. This is Ben. How's it going, guys?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I got a question. Can I ask you a little fantasy football theme that we got going on?
Sure, go for it.
So right before A.J. Green was announced that he'd probably be out all season, I went to our commissioner, offered him a trade. He countered that trade for Devontae Freeman.
Wait, I think we may have missed who you offered. Did you? So you ordered AJ Green for
Before AJ Green got hurt.
Okay, so you okay? Got it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So he countered for Devontae Freeman. I did kind of read something that A.J. Green was probably going to be out for the rest of the season, but figured I would offer up the trade anyway. He took it. I took the counter. Next day, he read the news and vetoed that trade. Is that abuse of power? Or what?
That to me. Well, here's how I would. Okay. First of all, that is an abuse of power in the sense of like, you know what? Hey man, I'm the fucking boss, and I like that move. As a former commissioner of a league, I like that power move because I'll tell you what. Has he ever had to chase you down for money for the fucking league?
No.
No? Has he ever chased other people down? Are you guys ball breakers? Or are you really like just like this thing is a well-run thing? Or is this guy just constantly getting his nut broke because you guys are a bunch of assholes and he's the biggest grown-up amongst you? Tell me the truth. Don't lie to me, buddy.
He does What's that?
Don't lie to me. Tell me the truth. Be very, very self-reflective at this moment. Are you a problem for fantasy football-wise?
I don't believe I'm more of the troll of the group.
I could tell because you just try to pull one over on your friend.
Yeah, it sounds like there's some history here. Sounds like there's some bad blood. But if you know what, Steve? If there was such bad blood, why would the commissioner accept this trade without doing his due diligence and do research on AJ Green's condition.
Point taken.
Did this
That's what I'm
caller
saying.
have?
Yep.
Is this caller the trainer for the Cincinnati Bengals? Did
Point
he
taken.
know?
No, I mean, I assume there was no inside information. I assume you're not friends with Matthew Berry or Adam Schefter or anyone like that, and you're getting,
Exactly.
so
No, it's not
everything was above
understood.
board. All the information was offered and available to everyone.
How much money changes hands in this league?
$75 buy-in.
Okay, and what's your positioning right now, you and the commissioner in the league?
Commissioner's running first. Now, after this weekend, I'm at fourth.
Okay, so you.
But I was at third when I offered this trade.
Now, here's a very easy, simple solution, I believe, to this, and I think it's the fairest one. I always would put it to a vote. If I was the commissioner, I'd say, all right, fine. We will ask the other how many people are in the league.
Here's a fucked up problem. We did do that, and all of his friends are in the league, so I'm kind of the lone one out.
Oh, wait a
My
minute,
wife
buddy.
voted
Time out,
against me.
time out. Okay, it's another piece of the onion falls off, and then we realize
Is this
now
a Colin Kaepernick
you might be the lone
situation?
wolf. Yeah, are you taking knees or something at the meetings? What are you doing? Are you the problem? What's going on there?
You know, they just don't like my style. I don't think.
What's your style? Tell me your style. I mean, I know it's obvious, like misdirection and abuse of information, but what other tactics are you employing?
To be honest, with you, my style sucks in the league. But
How did everybody in the league get together? Like, do y'all work
Yeah,
together?
you friends?
No, it's a family. So, well, it's brother-in-law.
Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
And then
This is
Hey,
this
happy
is like a
Thanksgiving.
Loki
This
Thor
could be good.
situation.
I've
Yeah.
actually been arguing this throughout the whole league, and we have a lawyer on our league too.
There's always one.
Well, okay. So how many
There
people?
is.
How many people are in the league? I just need the numbers.
Oh, this is sad. 8.
8. Oh my God! All right.
He's
well,
out 7-1 in
yeah.
the
You're
vote.
stacked in the. Look, here's the deal. I think. What did the vote come down? They all came on his side. Why did they come on his side? What was their reasoning? Did you ever ask him? Like, besides the fact that he didn't know. I mean, what is his
Shady trade transaction?
So what does that mean? I would say, like, what was it, like an illegal trade? Did it not go through in time? What other? Like, I would have asked and beyond that, but you're not going to win this one. You know that. And so
I know, and that's why I'm bringing it to you so I can humiliate them.
I feel like well,
It was abuse of power, in my opinion.
it is abuse of
My
power.
opinion.
Steve, if I may jump in here before you make your ruling,
Sure.
as a productive podcast entity that you are,
Thank you.
we don't know how high up this goes. We don't know who we're talking to. We don't know who the commissioner of this league is. There could be a lot of pockets that are being lined here right
True
now.
that, true
I
that.
don't want you to put your podcast and everybody that works for you
Our
here
reputation.
on
We
the
built
line.
2 millionaires from this podcast.
Could be-
I'm a
this could
millionaire
be-
from
I
fantasy
knew that.
football, and Brenton won $1 million somehow or another. That tiny, tiny gnome fell into a hole of magic and came out with $1 million via some sort of beautiful mind tactics. He had a seizure in the morning and put some names down on a piece of paper and then came to my house and ate meat and won. But somehow or another, all those stars aligned, and he won $1 million. So we know what we're talking about here. We've got the street cred on this. So I again,
That's why I turned to you guys.
I do believe it's an abuse of power, but if you're asking me, is this a quid pro quo kind of thing? What is this an impeachable offense? Is that what you're asking me? Well, I'm sorry. I'm like Judge
No.
Kavanaugh. I was too busy doing awful shit in high school to be able to have a real sound ruling on this thing. All right? I'm not the guy. but I'm
we
saying,
drank beer
Yeah,
after football
we drank
practice.
beer.
We had beer.
We had beer.
We had parties. We played football.
I mean, come on.
we ate French fries.
We had beer. I would say, dude, it's an abuse of power, but I also think about it like this is for, it's like when your parents get mad at you for something you didn't do. And then you're like, fuck, and then all of a sudden it's like, but those are like really for the 4 things you got away with.
You got to suck it up.
This is for the 4 things you got away with. You got to eat him. You got to eat AJ Green back. And by the way, if AJ Green wasn't that hurt, would you really be bitching right now? Huh? No,
And then also
exactly.
Devontae Freeman was out that week, I think, too.
So I do
So
believe it
would've
was
been just a
shady.
shitty trade all in general.
But I do, if you want my opinion, I think that's what comes with the territory being the commissioner. That's why you try to have the most logical, reasonable person be the commissioner.
But you should have caller call. What's your name, caller?
My name's Ben.
You should have Ben call back after if he makes the playoffs, because this is setting up for a Cinderella situation where he had to eat back this awful trade just because he did his research and the commissioner didn't. The commissioner is in number 1 place right now. Ben is 4th place.
Dude,
this
what if
is
this comes
setting
down
up
to the championship game, right? What if it comes down to it's you versus the commish, championship game, Chiva Bowl, and all of a sudden, I don't know what the afternoon or the night game is, but maybe it's fucking the Atlanta Falcons and the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's Devonta Freeman, AJ Green, whoever has more points. You know? Whoever has more
That
points at
would
that
be
point.
amazing.
And the loser has to die. And that's all right?
Well,
That seems like a fair trade-off.
So, I mean, maybe it'll come out of that. It'll be very exciting. But if it does or even comes close to that, please call back and let us know how it's going, all right?
Will do. Thanks, guys.
All right, Ben, be good.
shady commissioner work, man.
Hey, I don't mind that. Again, I don't mind that. I was a commissioner one time, and we had there was a fight in a pumpkin patch. 2 friends were arguing, and they would meet me at this pumpkin patch. And I was like, I had to go to a pumpkin patch on a Sunday to break up 2 friends from fighting.
Were these friends your kids?
No, these are high school friends.
Who's the pumpkin? Meet me at the pumpkin patch.
They got into an argument. Hey, fuck you, let's fight. I can't. I'm pumpkin picking with my kids. Which one are you at? I'm coming there right now. And then I got to go down there and break this whole thing up before there's a fucking melee at Mr. Giggles pumpkin patch on Long Island. All right? So, yeah, the commissioners do have to go through some shit sometimes. So maybe if they don't feel like getting hosed over because they were tired and their wife wouldn't give it up or whatever happened, or they came home late from work and they were like, fuck it, yeah, whatever, and they went to sleep and then realized, oh, my friend tried to fuck me again.
Yeah, it feels like 1% defending 1%.
You'll see when you get older.
When you grow your new spine.
I'll tell you what. If the Houston Astros, and if this is proven, this is a 100% cheating scandal, and I think we're heading in that direction, I don't say take the title away, okay? I've never agreed with that. I didn't agree with it with the Trojans. I don't agree with it with any situation.
You don't like vacated
those guys
championships.
played the games, okay? But in this situation, this is a very specific point of a game. I don't care if it works in July. I don't care if it works or if it doesn't work in May, okay? If you're testing it out. But if it definitely works and you've honed it and it's a very critical pitch during a very critical at-bat and you've got Jose Altuve or Michael Brantley or one of the best pound-for-pound hitters, not average-wise, but putting the ball in play, and you can tell them half the pitches are probably what's coming, eliminate half of what might be coming, dude. Come on. There is no greater. There's no steroid. There's no greater advantage. It's if we were playing blackjack and I saw one of your fucking cards. Or if we were playing, poker and I could see 2 of your cards. Do you know what an advantage that would be to me?
But the question is every other team in Major League Baseball trying to do the same thing, and they're just not as good at it?
Hey, you know what? If you want to be considered the best cheater in the world, then you get caught, well, then you got to fucking own that, dude.
That's a great point.
If the best thief in the world gets caught, great. He's still the best thief, but doesn't mean he doesn't go to jail just because you're the best.
Sure.
You've got to own it.
So what's jail going to be?
I don't know, but I don't think it's vacating.
Draft
I think
picks?
if you got to figure out how high this thing goes. If AJ Hinch knew about it, you're banned for life. Done. If you knew about it. Because it's systemic, dude. You've now given no player on your team an opportunity. Are you going to back out and say, hey, man, don't do it for me? Are you going to go again? So now you're a young player on the Houston Astros, and the first thing you're getting taught is this is how we're fucking doing this? You've ruined the farm system. You've ruined so you're done. You're out of baseball. Done. Forget it. You could apply in next generation when the commissioner dies. That's number one.
Okay.
A $2 million suspend or fine for the team is bullshit. $600 million plus. Bang it, dude. You want to hurt? You gonna hurt a billionaire with a $2 million fine?
You want a death penalty.
And the worst it's ever been is when they caught the Cardinals cheating. They gave a $2 million fine and lost 2 first-round draft picks. That hurts a farm system, and that's it. But that's $2 million, right? $100 million. Your manager's out for life, and you lose maybe a couple, 4 or 5 round draft picks.
Is it enough if you make one person the fall guy? Because if it goes high enough, because there's emails that are like it's like they have like the GMs.
However high it goes, whoever the highest person knowledge-wise,
that's who you ban.
Okay, but anyone above, and if it's AJ Hinch and higher, they're all gone from baseball. And I'm not saying this as a disgruntled Yankee fan who in 2017 lost game 1 and 2, 2-1.
Yeah.
In Houston, 2-1 by 1 run, and then we went out and blew them out 3 games in fucking New York, where they weren't playing fucking Kunta Kinte banging on fucking drums. And then when we came back, it all fell apart again. So, and look, this year they lost every home game. Okay, and I'm not saying maybe it didn't work out this year. Maybe the whole thing wasn't. But I'm saying the trying. And in 2017, if they could prove it. If you're the Yankees, it stings. If you're the Dodgers, it changes the entire course of your franchise.
Oh, that pitcher's
They've lost
career.
3 in a row, or 2 World Series in a row. Didn't even make it this year. If they won that one, let's say hypothetically they won that one, changes everything.
Because that went down to Game 7. Now that Game 7 was in Los Angeles.
Yes.
But they won games at home that year.
Yes.
It's bad. Because this
is
is
an article,
so...
if you want to pull it up on Barstool, where this year, Phil Nevin, the Yankees third base coach, Alex Bregman hit a home run, and rounding third, he said, tell your fucking hitting coach I'm going to beat the shit out of him. Because he heard him whistling. Because, the third base coach is the closest to the visit to the home. Yeah. So he heard that, whatever it is, whatever their signal, whatever a signal, a thing, tell your fucking hitting coach I'm going to kick his ass. Because they were talking about this whole thing of sign and signal calling. And look, it's a lot of pieces to put together, and they're going to fight back. It's like they'll say that it's all being done everywhere or whatever, and they'll admit to some stuff and deny the really, terrible shit. But overall, you put it together and you say, like, hey, these guys were doing this, and this is something taught and something worked out and something worked on. Fuck it, bro. You got to chop that off because, look, I mean, baseball is probably it's pretty much the litmus test for all these things. It's the first one to look at, like, steroids and things like that, and not really CTE because they don't really have it. But with the cheating stuff, they're always the first guinea pigs, and so now they've got to send a message with this, whether it's going to be in your veins or you're going to try to. They had a picture of what's his name with possibly a buzzer on his finger. In his batting glove. This is one of the
first
you're talking
times
about, like,
that baseball has to also, because
technology is now being a new sort of drug.
Technology is changing the way that baseball was viewed, because baseball used to be viewed as like cheating was like, oh, that's just old Whitey on the mound using his spitball.
No, dude.
And this is a different thing now.
With technology coming forward, you're going to have in 10 years cameras are going to replace the home plate umpire. It's already happening. In those independent leagues, they're trying it out. It's going to happen. It's a better system. Everyone will be happy with it. The box on the TV is right. The box everyone's seeing is right. We know what's a ball and a strike before the fucking guy behind the plate knows. So the more stuff you add, the more it'll become where it's like, well, whose camera is that? Or it's got to be, don't even fuck with it. Just the way casinos would shut it down. If you got caught cheating in a casino, they're not going to slap you on the wrist. They're going to take you outside the very first time, and they're going to cut your fucking fingers off. And I'm sorry, dude. I don't mind. This is not a disgruntled Yankee fan.
It is a little.
It sounds a lot like it. But it really goes to the integrity of being like, if you know about this shit, right?
I'm with you. I think
because think about it. You're putting you're putting everyone, like, you don't even have a choice.
I don't think every other team has tried to do this. I think a lot of other teams have. Not as successfully. So I think that this is a warning shot for every other team. And I think that's what Rob Manfred knows. Whatever his ruling is going to be, every other team is going to look at this and see, well, if that was our organization, could we survive that? So if you penalize them a few $1 million in draft picks, every team is going to be like, yeah, we could this is still worth the risk to us.
Yes.
But if you say we're going to ban for life your manager, your GM.
Yes, cut it down.
You're going to vacate a championship?
This, if you want to make it legal, if you want to say this, you could put a person in your visitor's bullpen. Scary. Oh God.
Damn it, Tracy with the chili.
In center field with a I'll even give you binoculars if you want to use binoculars, and you want to play the game and you want to make that a part of the game. The way it used to be, you look down, go for it. fine. It's dumb. I don't think it makes sense. You can decide in your organization if it works. I don't know. But if you're telling me you got one camera for your side out there that's sending a direct feed to a TV monitor in your dugout alone, I mean, what is going on here?
Is there a different way, a more modern way, we can have a catcher and a pitcher communicate than...
I thought about that too.
You know?
I mean...
If you legalize this stuff, which you're not going to do, they're going to try to outlaw it. So you're going to keep having that. But we on TV can see exactly what the signals are every time.
Yeah.
We can all see it. So is there a different way or can the pitcher just be like, fuck it, I'm throwing whatever I'm going to throw?
I mean, the only thing I could think of is like if you had the manager tell the pitcher what they wanted to throw somehow or another from the dugout. If you had 12 guys giving signals.
You got to have the catcher, like what they do in college football a lot of times. You have 3 guys relaying a signal
or something
two
like
of them
that.
With a dummy
so the catcher's sort of just out of it.
Right.
But then the catcher
needs to
know what's going on
catcher
too.
has to know what's coming.
I'm just saying, if this is, and I'm interested to see how this all comes down, because I really think it puts, everyone looks at Houston like, man, look at that team. Wow, they're not like a huge bunch of names. This was 3 years ago, a huge bunch of names, but they came together and stuff. A la the Nationals.
Right.
But it's it puts a real fucking taint on it. And forget the other story about the guy, the assistant GM. That's just a cultural. I'm not saying it can happen in any dugout, but it kind of sucks that it happened in the fucking Astros too, because to me it says like. This is a problem. It's lawless.
Don't you think
it's like Freddie Kitchens. You think he's got a fucking control? If you feel okay enough to rip a helmet off and do it, it's not like I don't know. It's like, I'm not saying you coach it, but you certainly are okay if something like that.
It's kind of like the caller we had, Ben. So you kind of think that Ben is like the Cleveland Browns of his league, where like it's like, okay, if that was the only incident,
yep.
But we also have the shoe incident, we have the visor incident, we have the watch incident,
yep.
We have your quarterback chugging beers at games.
It's not a good look.
Not a good look, Steve.
It's not a good look.
Will this affect the players in their when they're up for Hall of Fame consideration? I mean, do you look at Altuve differently?
No, I mean, I don't look at Altuve differently. The guy's a great hitter. I don't think he's even a Hall of Fame hitter yet right now. I don't think you're going to have an issue with Verlander.
No, because they earn wins that are in question, but
nobody gave the other team the pitches, so they still pitch those fucking games. Mm-hmm. But you give a killer pitching staff with a great group of hitters and the knowledge of what pitch is coming, you're going to have a pretty great fucking team. So
be very interested to see what all those Houston hitters' averages are.
I don't think any. Well, I mean, the averages last year on the road were pretty similar. So I'm not saying the argument's even valid that you want to run a system the whole year like this. I'm saying if you've worked on it enough and it works in the right situation at the right time, it's worth it the whole year. Even if it didn't work the whole year, you know what I'm saying?
And you got caught with it.
And you got caught with it on your own documentary, by the way. In their own documentary they produced, they saw the guy moving the fucking laptop with the camera. Yes. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Who is this? Oh my God, Emma. Hey, what's up? You're on What's the Odds? Hello.
Hey guys, I just wanted to call in and say thank you for giving me the balls to bet a 17 parlay, and I hit it.
Get the fuck out of here. 7 games you bet?
Yeah, 17 parlay. And I sucked out. I'd given up after the Niners had scored. They were up by 4.
Yeah.
And they had the ball back. Yeah. And I fucked off and just went and grabbed a beer and got pissed off, went outside. And my buddies called me, and I thought he was calling to bust my balls. And he informed me that they scored on that last-minute really big-ass play.
And that was the last game of your...
So my $20 bet turned into 6. I had the Patriots game too, but that was a pretty good game. So.
Yeah. What did you win?
Just under 1,600 off of a 20.
$20 into 1,600. Now, if Brenton Biddlecombe was here, he'd say that's nothing compared to the $20 investment he made into $1 million. But I'll tell you what, buddy, you picked 7 more games than Brenton's picked his entire fucking time on this podcast. So anytime you're around Los Angeles and you want to do this thing with us, feel free to come on. What's your name, man?
Franco.
Franco, where are you from?
California.
What's coming again?
Butthole of California.
What was that, Stockton?
Fresno.
Fresno. Okay, pretty close.
That's the kind of signal you get up there.
By the way, I'm coming to NorCal this weekend. I'll be at the San Jose Improv. Cheap plug right here. San Jose Improv, SteveRenazizi.com for tickets. Friday, 2 shows. Saturday, 2 shows. 1 show on Sunday with Ryan O'Neal, the ass kicker.
Yeah.
The Indiana ass kicker. Franco, is it?
Speaking of Danish and O'Neal,
Yeah?
when are you going to do their Beach Cop show?
As soon as they get their shit together and organized. They're working on that basement show. They're working on the Beach Cop show. They got a lot of fucking, fryers on pans on the fryer right now. So, or whatever. Is that a saying? I don't know. Franco, if anyone,
I just want to say thanks.
Go ahead.
Thanks for giving me nuts to bet.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
That idiot could hit $1 million. Anyone can.
That's right, Franco. That's the takeaway from this podcast. I want everyone to be like, if that Make-A-Wish kid can get this thing done, so can I.
Betting for years, he hits a fucking home run right off the bat.
It's unreal.
Dude, there is no more beginner's luck than that fucking idiot
Do
over
you
there.
believe in miracles?
It really is. And like it was like his first time on skates. Franco, thanks for listening, buddy. Hey, good luck this weekend. We haven't done our picks yet, but did you choose any of the games that we chose, or did you stay away from them?
I actually, I messaged you on Twitter, or just hit you on Twitter. If you want to look at my picture, I put them on there.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm not on Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter since January 2nd, and my life's been infinitely better. They locked me out of my password. I can't get the password back. So I put a thing up on my Instagram. Maybe I should do it every month, that I am not on Twitter. The account is active. People are writing me. They're sending me hateful messages. And I just don't have it. I don't read them, and my life is so much better.
Okay, here are my picks that I picked here.
Yeah, let me know.
The Niners at 9.5 over. The Ravens giving 4.5. The Saints giving 5.5. Colts giving 2.5. Cowboys giving 7. Falcons giving 4. Patriots giving 4.5.
Wow, the Falcons too. Yeah, that was a big one. Mm-hmm. Yep. By the way, Brenton says to fuck you, Franco. He's writing via Facebook. He says you're a piece of shit, and it took him 3 weeks, and he earned it, is what he said. So.
Well, his first comment was just nothing but dollar signs.
Yeah, dollar signs coming up. Well, we'll go over our picks now, Franco. We're going to do our games now. We appreciate you listening, and please call in again. All right.
Oh, thank you.
Later, buddy. All right, let's get to our picks.
That's a heartwarming story. Just a hardworking guy.
7 games
in Fresno.
7 games, $20, $1,600. That's a pretty good.
The money's good. You get bragging rights with all your friends for the rest of your days until somebody else hits a 17 parlay.
Yeah.
That's big time.
7 games is a lot to I mean, we can't do fucking 3.
No.
We haven't done 3 once.
That Falcons
I've done
Saints
7
game,
in a row.
That was a shocker.
That was a shocker. That was one that, look, Brenton lost that one. We kind of all saw that coming, but we're like, it's 7 weeks in a row. You're the jinx. You're the fucking problem. Josh Martin's like, what you doing to my team? All right. Mark, you're our guest. So
Yeah.
we'll pull up the odds, and then you pick a game. Unless you want to give your time to somebody else, so you can look at the board and make a...
I'm fine doing whatever helps the flow of the show, Steve.
Lucas, do you have a game in mind that you...
I do.
Okay.
Saints over the Panthers.
Saints over the Panthers.
Yes,
Can you pull
the
this?
line was 9.5.
Okay. Saints are at home, I assume.
It's telling me my...
Like a revenge game kind of thing?
Correct.
Okay.
The Saints have killed it against the spread this year,
Yep.
and the Panthers aren't good against the spread, so I think that's as lock as you can get this week.
I mean, the only thing that worries me about that is that one hiccup against Atlanta, but I think Carolina is not on the mojo or the trajectory that Atlanta's, on right now.
My hesitation with the Saints is that last year around this time is when Drew Brees his arms started to look tired. He started to look worn out, but he's got a lot more rest this year because he hasn't played for 5 games that Teddy Bridgewater came in and won. So I think the Saints, that Falcons game really would scare me.
Okay.
For 9 points, that's
9.5, right? I mean, look.
Kyle Allen,
McCaffrey, but no Kamara, I think, if I'm correct. So that also is a little bit of I don't have, you have your robot, I don't have my robot,
Yeah.
Kamara and
Right.
McCaffrey sort of offset each other
Right.
in their abilities and what they can do. But, so that's the only reason, just keeping it close. I'm not saying they're going to win, but if they won by a touchdown, we're fucked.
Does Kyle Allen have a comeback game in him?
does Kyle Allen say, I'm Jameis Winston? I'm going to come in here and prove a point, you know? If Kyle Allen says, I'm Jameis Winston, then I'm definitely taking the Saints because then he's lost his mind. He's got dementia. He doesn't know what team he's playing for.
I want to wager on one of the bigger games.
Okay.
But I want to see what the line is because the Lions are playing at the Redskins.
I'll pull up some.
And
hold on a second. That wasn't real.
That was Dwayne Haskins playing quarterback.
Do you have the lines, or you're not? We're not.
I have audio somewhere of you actually farting into the microphone. If you want me to pull it up for you, so you can
do?
use it in the future.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I do remember that was a good fart, Em.
Yeah, I remember. I had to clean the microphone.
Was it like a full ADR session where it was like or was it just a random?
It
hey,
was,
I'm gonna do this once.
You know, I had my back and I had issues and stuff, and you know, I was gassy a lot. And I was on some sort of pills that made my bowels, you know, move around.
Roger that.
At strange hours. So yeah, I had situations in the afternoon with gas here.
It's a risk. You're on pills farting that it didn't turn into something else.
I do know the game that I want to pick. The Jets are giving 2.5 points against the Oakland Raiders, and the Jets are at home. I'm taking Oakland. Now, the only thing that scares me is that the Jets team that somehow or another got it together for the Dallas Cowboys. They got it together against the was it Washington last week?
Yeah, Steve, it was.
Was it? Yeah, Mark. What was the final score of that game as a Washington Redskins fan? Do you remember?
34-0.
Yeah, 17.
34 to something else that's way less than 34.
You see when the Jets receiver scored a touchdown, he tried to do a leap into the crowd and they all moved. he jumped over.
Good for him.
And he just landed on his ass.
Try it, dude. Why not? Yeah, I just hope that they're not having like a comeback game and they just, you know, I believe in Derek Carr. I believe in Hunter Renfrow. I believe in Josh Jacobs, and I think that that they cover at least by a field goal on the road against the Jets. So that's my pick of the week.
Oh boy!
Does Brenton, if you want to ask him, Lucas,
he said Dallas covering.
Dallas covering. Now, do you have the spread on that one, or you're pulling them up right now?
Yeah, Dallas is 7-point dogs to New England.
7 points dogs to New England.
So he's got Dallas
in
covering
New
the spread.
England. This fucking idiot wants to pick that game nationally. Didn't we tell him stay away from nationally televised games at home with Tom Brady? He's going to cover.
I see his logic based on last week.
What? Based on Dallas having a good week?
And New England having a poor offensive week.
Yeah, but it was against Philly. I think Dallas is worse than Philly. If Philly had a goddamn wide receiver that could run down the field, they are a better team than the Dallas Cowboys.
These are tough. These are really tough.
I don't like that pick, Brenton, as you could probably imagine. I don't like that pick, but hey, man, you're your own guy, and I hope you're writing these down. No matter where you are.
Luke, for the record, it's 10-point spread with the Panthers and Saints.
Oh, my God. We haven't had a push yet, but that has push written all over it.
You think push?
That has push written all over it. And I can't wait till next week when you make the video, and it's like, bing, right next to me saying that. And everyone's like, is this guy a soothsayer?
Steve has a knack for predicting exact scores,
fucking
too,
scores, Ellis.
when
like
he
a
makes his
fucking
picks.
genius.
All right, I'm actually going to do... I'm going to do myself a favor because the Lions are only 3.5-point favorites against the Redskins. However, I don't want to bet against the because I think Driscoll's starting a quarterback instead of Stafford. So I don't that game scares me. I just want to stay away from that game as a better.
Good, you should, and it's your team too. So
I don't want to
bet
bet against the Redskins. So what I am going to do, the 1-8 Redskins. What I am going to do is Buffalo.
I like it. That was the other game I wrote down.
Is a
that's a scary
4-point
game.
favorite against the Broncos.
Yep.
This is a East Coast 1 p.m. game. Denver's
Buffalo.
traveling from Colorado.
No Joe Flacco.
No Joe Flacco. They have that new kid who looks competent,
Yep.
but Buffalo. What's Buffalo's offensive situation right now?
Hutton.
They're
What
getting
is
it
this?
together. They scored 37 points against Miami.
I have a receiver of theirs.
John Brown?
No,
Cole
Hutton.
Beasley?
Sutton.
Not Cortland Sutton.
I don't know. One of those. I have a receiver on the Broncos. That's
the Broncos. Yeah. Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, Cortland
Yep.
Sutton. So he's really the only guy that I think they have as a weapon.
God, you know what game's really interesting?
What?
Miami versus Cleveland. Cleveland, 10.5-point favorites.
I know.
Hosting
with no. Yeah, well, they're hosting. They're at home. I liked also Baltimore giving 3 points to the Rams. I think Baltimore covers that for sure, even though it's in
It's
LA.
in prime time. It's Monday night.
It's in L.A.
In L.A.
I think
I'm a little scared of that game.
Yeah, you know why I'm scared? I'll tell you why. Because I think Jackson's going to run for 400 yards on Monday Night Football in front of this is his first primetime game, I think.
You don't think that could possibly go the other way, though, where he gets a little tight?
No, that kid is electric, dude. Electrifying.
He's great. He's great.
Do you remember when Mahomes came in there last year and they played the it was like 55. It was like a shootout.
Yeah. Yep.
They're going to win that game, and they have a way better defense than the Chiefs did last year.
And Lamar was on primetime just last week against the Patriots, and he did great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you.
I like
kid's
that.
fire, bro.
I like betting on that game because the Rams squeaked by.
They
didn't
and they are
squeak
not even
by,
going to make the
but
playoffs.
their offense looked bad against the Bears.
That's not my game, but I do like that game. But,
Okay, I'm going.
so you want the Bills?
I'm riding the Bills.
You want the Bills giving 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Bills giving 4. You got
Don't let me down, Luke.
Yeah, I'm still going to take this. I mean, the Colts-Texans game is interesting, and Brent made a good point that if T.Y., it all depends on if he plays. He's questionable for Thursday. But that 3.5 spread against Houston, I would take the Colts.
But I want to know what happened with the Texans on Sunday. I mean, Baltimore's a good team. The Texans didn't get off the plane. They were so bad.
Yeah, I mean,
They were horrible.
I mean, it was close. It was 28. I mean,
pretty not. I mean,
Yeah.
after the first 5-6 minutes, it was 14-7, maybe close. That close.
But
then it was off after that.
that pass interference non-call on DeAndre Hopkins.
That did hurt. That did hurt.
Yeah.
That stifles momentum.
21-7 or something like that, where you can get within a touchdown or get it back. Yes, that does hurt. But then they showed no resolve after that. Yeah,
I'd stay away from that. And plus, Vinatieri, I have no idea if he's able to kick anymore or not. Sometimes he looks great. Sometimes it's just I don't know what's happening. So I would stay away from that game as a better, but I'm pretty confident in the Bills at home against the Broncos.
You suck!
All right.
Well, I don't know who that seems uncalled for.
I think. All right. So we have our 4 games. He wants Dallas. You want
Dallas.
the Saints. You got the Bills.
Yeah.
And I have the. Wait a minute.
You taking
I wrote
the
it down.
Ravens?
No, I'm taking Oakland over the Jets, getting by at least a fucking field
You
goal.
That's
Really?
an East Coast. I mean, the Raiders have flown all over the world this year, so I don't think that simple
London,
West Coast to East Coast trip.
Mexico
phases
City.
them,
They
but
got to go everywhere, dude.
I'd worry about them looking past that game. To be honest with you, that's what I'd worry about with
As
the
a
Raiders.
Bills fans, I hope.
Knock
I
on
hope
knock
you're
on the
right.
table if you agree with me.
Yes.
Oh, really? You guys are turning against me this week, huh? Is
Yeah,
that
I'm
what's happening right now?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this new Raiders fandom you have now,
Oh, wow. I see it. So I'm the new Brenton now? We'll see what happens. How about everybody plugs their fucking plugs on the podcast? Jesus
As soon as Brent comes back in the studio, we're all robbing him.
No, I know.
We,
I think
we're
about-
literally kidnapping him as soon as he comes
I
back,
think
right?
about kidnapping him all the time. No one's gonna
Before
come
he
for
won the
him.
money.
Are you in town this week? Are you on the road?
I am going to be in town this week. I'll be at the Comedy Store on Saturday night, and then December 5th through 8th, Phoenix House of Comedy with Steve Simone
Oh,
and Lee
perfect.
Syatt.
Yep. And that's a good condo, too. That's a fun one. Are you on the road? Or are you just promoting? Or
This weekend, I'm
obviously
here
the special. Please watch it on YouTube. Dog Stepfather.
on All Things Comedy.
All Things Comedy
This
page.
weekend, I'm at the Comedy Store. December 7th, downtown LA. Schmodown Spectacular. 5
yeah.
live movie trivia matches at the LATC Theater.
With our good friend Christian Harloff.
Yes, a friend of the show, right?
Friend
He
of
did
the
Oscar
show.
picks,
Our
yeah.
bachelor fucking extraordinaire expert. Thank God.
He's an inside guy.
Thank God, dude. We have him around.
Yeah.
He knows the angles, and he's also a fucking cheater when it comes to that, too.
I'd like to come back during the playoffs at some point.
Sure.
I'm very interested in talking. I'll just sit on the couch. I don't even need a microphone.
We have the couch over there.
I enjoy y'all's company.
That
Just
was
yell from the
Steve's
side when you
spot.
disagree with us. That was my spot while I had my spine stuff going on. I would do the podcast from the couch.
I want to be this podcast Johnny Zapp.
That's right. I just show up uninvited all the time, and we can light your hair on fire.
I literally saw a man's head.
That's allegedly. Allegedly. And with that, speaking of fucking hair, look at my facial hair. My wife's got this Outlander thing going on. She told me to grow this beard. It's very sexual. I look like Yukon Cornelius from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
And Brent looks like he wants to be a
You know, he
dentist.
gets lost, yeah. And Brenton, that's it. Someone Photoshop that for us. the Yukon Cornelius with the dentist as Brenton.
Congrats, Brenton. Love you,
I'm
buddy.
in San Jose this weekend, improv with Ryan O'Neal. Tickets are on my website or wherever you get tickets. You know what to do. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. We will see you next week. We are going to win a 4-game parlay this week. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be awesome, guys. And congratulations, 7-game winner, fucking Franco in Fresno, California. Congratulations to you. We are out of here, ladies and gentlemen. As soon as I get the song, good. This is produced well. Bye.
Thank you very much for joining me. How you been? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Steve Renazizi. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. Lit. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. Fucking lit. I'm the guy. Steve Renazizi. What's